Well, John, thank you very much for joining me as ever on game day. And wow, I don't know what to say. We've won a top 6 side, top 10 side. We've finally done it. 1-0 at the KCOM Stadium. James Nord with the goal. Your thoughts, your verdict on a surprising win?
Ross, I'm a bit lost for words because am I right in thinking we were the better team? That we had character and we had a game plan, and we had energy and teamwork, and we had a striker who led the line and worked his socks. I mean, credit where credit's due. James Norwood getting back to fitness, leading the line, doing a great job as far as I'm concerned. You know, Kenlock had a good game. Wilson was solid as throughout the entire game again, mopping up and clearing up. I thought Dazelle had a really capable, quiet at times, but really in control of the midfield. The whole commentators were, even though they can't pronounce his name, were pretty impressed with him, I think. The biggest difference for me was the striker wasn't isolated. I mean, Norwood worked his socks off for that team, and he used all his dark arts and won all, but we suddenly had an opportunity to be an attacking force because he chased things down, he made things happen, the ball stuck, and the midfielders, Bennett and Parrott waste so much opportunities, and we need to work on that. But at least they're close to the striker, so we're not isolated. But it feels good to be talking about win. I mean, let's be clear. I want to be absolutely clear. I didn't expect it. I still can't quite believe it. I still want Lambert to be away from the club. It doesn't change anything in the big picture for me. But it's starting to sink in. I've actually enjoyed a game of football. We got a positive result. And, I'm still expecting an 8th minute of injury time, double whammy to end up with a defeat. I was even thinking to you, well, at least we look like we were going to win, because I didn't believe it was ever going to happen tonight. So credit where it's due to the boys. Best team performance, whole team performance I've seen for a good while from Ipswich. Energy and togetherness. It was interesting. I saw at the end, Chambers was giving people hugs, and there was as if a team have decided we're going to do it. Maybe they're playing for each other rather than for Lambert. I don't know. Lots of positives, and it's nice to be able to say that. And we've backed up a draw against a decent side with a surprisingly away win. So if you take 4 points from the last 2 games, I never saw that coming. So Lambert out still, but it was a nice, positive result tonight. So lots to be pleased with. So yeah. I'm just going to get on the phone to my dad now and rub the salt in his wounds because, as you know, he's a Tiger, and he thinks that's the way they're playing all season. He thinks they're going to do what we did last year, and on that performance they will, because they look like we did last year. I said to him in text messages during the game, he whole played like we've played most of the time. A little bit of something, but no real end product. So, it's nice to be sitting on the opposite side of the fence for a while.
Well, Matt, thank you for joining me as ever on game day. And well, John said, I'm lost for words. We've beaten Hull City. Finally, beating a top side in League One. Top 3 sides, as you said. Your thoughts on that win? James Nord with the goal.
Well, is that the best performance that we've seen so far under current manager Paul Lambert? I don't know. I mean, I was a bit meh going into the game, like a lot of people probably were. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to shell out. I'm going to pay a tenner. I'm going to buy it through the Ipswich iFollow and not register a funny email address with Hull. I want my money going to my club because it pays for the cleaners. It pays for the bar people. It pays for the people that work at the shop. Anyway, that's a discussion for another pod. Yeah, bloody brilliant performance. The way we set up, I was amazed that we kept the same side, to be honest. All of this Saturday, Tuesday rotation is going to be necessary. We didn't see it. We saw a lot of the people that I thought might come in, might make the bench, for example, playing in the under-23s game earlier on today. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a clue. But when I saw an unchanged side, I thought, you know what? That actually makes sense, because Saturday against Oxford, was a decent performance, but tonight, absolutely, I'm not going to say it was magical, but I think we're getting back towards what we as Ipswich Town fans expect. You look at our side on paper tonight, we had balance, we had drive, we had grit, we pressed. We didn't give them 2 minutes. And I think a lot of the time leading up to this game, we gave sides too much respect. We talked about it, or you talked about it on the pod, all this tippy-tapping around the back. We haven't seen any of that for the last 2 or 3 games. It's so refreshing. I didn't think we had a standout player tonight. I thought collectively as a team, because we held our shape, we were organised, our game management was really, really good. Probably the best I've seen in a very long time. What a difference James Norwood makes. Your man, Kenny Kenlock, on the left, absolutely fantastic. Chambers wasn't bombing on quite so much on the right-hand side. Wilson, I've said it before, he's our best central defender. Who else? Parrott. He's ring rusty. He's going to get there. You can see that the boy's got talent. He's clearly a confidence player. My boy, Kieran Bennett, as they were calling him, on loan from Gladbach. He's got all the tricks. He's got the step overs. He's got the pace. He's still crossing the ball into the next postcode. But really, really happy with tonight. Absolutely. I can't moan about anything. I think we were very harshly treated with the yellow cards that we received, especially Kenlock for time wasting. I thought you had a certain amount of time to take a throw in. And it's nice to see Edwards back as well. Alan Judge, again, playing decent. Bishops and Dazelle looking quite solid in the middle. So it's 3 points. HMS pissed the league, 100 points, 100 goals. That's still docked. That's in the dry dock for now. We might see that again in August or September, but we're back on the right foot. We're going in the right direction. And let's see, I think if we put a run of games together, I mean, if anybody knows the slightest bit about me, I'm an incredible optimist and I'll always want my team to do well, but I'm also a realist. And I think if we can put a run of games together with the games that we've got in hand, who knows what might happen.
Well, Segs, thank you for joining me as ever on game day. And wow, no one saw that coming. A 1-0 win at Hull for Town. Your verdict on a fantastic 3 points against a top 3, 6, 10 side.
Yeah, funny you should mention that. I had a text from CM Punk's sister just as the game's finished. I'll just read it out quickly. It says that OMG, beaten Hull, WTF, thought we couldn't beat League One's top teams, LOL. Of course, that's a reference to the Kevin Nash reference that he did back in 2011. But yeah, it's a crazy feeling this. How long has it been now since we haven't beaten a top League One side? I mean, at Sunderland back in August 2019, we were all on the ground, and since then we haven't been able to beat them. And all of a sudden, here we are, 18 months later, whatever it is, and finally we've beaten a top side. It's come too late, to be fair, but we're still happy that's happened, and it's a weird feeling, and it shouldn't be a weird feeling, but it is. Went into the game expecting a loss, and to be fair to Hull, they were dire. Had a few chances, but at the same time, we should have put them away as well. I mean, what Bennett was doing the first half, why he just didn't shoot. You get a deflection off the goalkeeper, make the goalkeeper make a save, could have fallen to one of the players 2-0. Norwood had a couple of chances after he'd already scored. Parrott as well. There's definitely a few chances there that we should have put away to make it a more convincing win, let's call it. But at the same time, we won. You can't moan about that. Kenlock had an amazing game. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we rejuvenated. He's been a great player since he's been back. I don't know where it's come from, but Kenlock and Wilson as well. The past couple of games, he's been awesome as well. He just exactly showed what we missed there. I mean, we've got a bit of experience at the centre now. I know that Chambers is still on the right, but if you bring Wilson back in there, and he's just showing exactly what he's about and what he's made of in the centre of defence. So yeah, it's good to have those two back and playing really, really well for us. Toto as well was decent, and who knew? If you play 4-4-2, you're going to play well. and we have done tonight. It's worked for us, beating a top 6 side, top 2 side even. It's come down last season, we've beaten them. We finally got that record off our... Just disappeared. Now we've finally beaten a side. Who knows if it'll carry on? Probably not. But yeah, as far as Lambert goes, he's still got to go. I mean, he's stuck with a team that did well, not well on Saturday, but we got a point against Oxford, and now unbeaten in 3. So fair play to him. He's stuck with the same team. It's worked tonight. We play Doncaster on Saturday and see where we go from there. Obviously, they brought back a point from Hull brought it back to a point last Saturday. So it's still going to be a tough one. We'll just see where it goes.
All right, Darren, good to have you on once again on game day. And wow, I've been saying to the other guys on the game day today, in absolute shock, we've won a game against Hull. Not getting too bad, but what a performance. Probably the best we've played in a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's you're right. It's a really good performance, best we've played in a long time. And then for me, it's frustrating because that's how we could have been playing all season if we weren't trying to do this fantasy football, 5 in midfield, and it just doesn't. It's not effective. And the last 2 games we've seen pretty much a 4-4-2. I know there's some debate over what Parrott's doing when when we haven't got the ball, but it's back to basics. Obviously, James Wilson is back in, so he's made a difference. And just those 2 banks to 4, the players are working hard. They're pressing. Tonight the first 15 minutes was all played in the whole half, wasn't it? They Hull were poor. I mean, their fans will be disappointed with tonight's game because it was a bit scrappy from them. They couldn't really get their passing going. Lots of long balls, kept losing position. But a lot of that was to do with, there was no space, lots of pressing, and we get the ball and Kenlock, Jesus, I think that's the best game I've ever seen him play. He was composed, calm, neat and tidy. Obviously up against a big goal threat. I think someone read out a stat. I think their front 3 have got 35 goals between them, which I haven't checked it. Is that more than we've scored in total?
Yep.
Probably, yeah. So they're going to cause all sorts of problems. And Kenlock was fantastic. And that, the first goal was firstly beautiful ball by Kenlock just to sort of drift over the top. And then we see why we signed Norwood. Norwood, 1 touch, bang, goal. And really, that's what we deserve, that first 15 minutes. Hull got a bit more into it as that kind of half went on. And obviously, they couple of massive chances, from the scuffed Zell cross from the corner. That was, that was a goal. We were just expecting the net to bulge. Didn't go in. Dangerous cross. I mean, Elder, I don't recognise him. I know we had him on loan. I don't know how many games he played, but he looked pretty dangerous, I thought. He looked pretty lively. So, yeah, pretty comfortable first half, I thought, really. Second half, that's when you start, I was starting to think, okay, Hull can't be that bad for another half. They made 2 subs. The manager sent them out early. He's obviously given them a rocket. So, he prepared for a bit of a battering. But the first 15 minutes just sort of ticked by. Very professional, still very scrappy. But, we still create some chances there. I know, Norwood's still at 75 minutes was still sprinting, chasing people down. So he's recovering well. I was saying to my son, after about 60 minutes, he looked like he was sort of, a bit of playmanship with pretending he was injured and stuff. I was like, well, if this was Championship Manager now, his stats would be like 30% in the red. And so you'd whip him off, and bring someone else on. But obviously, he had that chance straight after that. And, then we get into the last 10 minutes. Can we hang on? Are we actually going to beat one of the top sides? Really brave header by Nsiala. That cross comes in, does what he does best, and shoves his head in there. and we hold on. I thought the whole team was solid, but I think playing that formation 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to call it, everyone knows what they're doing, and it's hard to break down. And then when you do get forward, you have got players forward who can get on the end of stuff. So yeah, we just need some more people to jump in. 90 minutes for Bish. So that's a bit of a milestone for him. So I'm pleased for him. And then the commentator kept saying Dzel the whole game. His name is Dzel, not Dzel. Composed, another calm quality display by him. But look, I'm pleased. I enjoyed it. It was a good game. We look. I think comfortable would be exaggerating, but there wasn't many moments where you thought, we're going to get battered here at all. But having said that, Hull will be disappointed. That wasn't their best performance, but we win. And the only slight depressing thing now is when you look at the table and you think, oh, a draw, a win. How do we? I think we're 5 points off of Doncaster, who've got a game in hand, but we play them on Saturday. So who knows? It'd be interesting to see how people react now to Lambert with, and I haven't heard his interviews yet straight after the game, but I think if he'll have to show a lot of humility, I think, and maybe, if he was to admit, I've got things wrong, and clearly the way we're playing now is how we could be playing, maybe people might tiny little bit like him a little bit. Yeah. But obviously the timing now, he's supposedly got this face-to-face meeting with Marcus Evans this week, and we've just had 2 performances, in a draw with the informed Oxford team and an away win at Hull. So will Marcus Evans be blinded by that and nothing really happens? If it was going to anyway, if you believe all this stuff with a takeover. But look, on the whole, it's a good win. It's a good performance. Let's just keep playing like that. That's all I want.
Well, Bloomers, thank you very much for joining me on game day once again. And wow, I'm in shock, in disbelief. Town have beaten Hull tonight. Your thoughts on finally beating a team in the top 6, top 3, top 10, whatever you call it. Go ahead.
You've given it 3 wows. That's how amazing it is that we finally sort of broken that curse. And it's the first time I've done one of these to you after we've won a game. So this is a nice little novelty. It's weird. You can kind of look at it on sort of two viewpoints. One viewpoint is it was a good performance. It was a good performance. They defended really well. You can't ever say that they've sort of down tools in that game. They were committed. They were organised. If it wasn't for having a rusty winger in Bennett, who has just come in, and someone with a bit more quality than Troy Parrott leading the line, we could have had 2 or 3 goals. It was a really good performance. Rode a lucky little bit at times, but if you're playing against one of the division's so-called better teams away from home, you're going to need a bit of luck. So, yeah, it was great to see. It was refreshing. The other viewpoint you could have is, if we could play like that, and we've just seen it now, how come it's not happened in the last month or 2 months? You play that sort of level of performance for 80% of your games in the season so far, and we'd be in a better position than we are. You can't look back and change the past, so it's kind of a moot point talking about it, but it is extremely frustrating. James Norwood, a fit James Norwood leading the line in this division, will play games like that. He was fantastic tonight. Held the ball up really well, took his goal just like he did against Peterborough. It was a similar kind of, snapshot. I would say more than half a chance, but certainly a chance that a leading striker for your team's gonna take, and he did. I touched on Troy Parrott a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, I do not rate him whatsoever. He had 2 golden opportunities in the first half, where a simple pass or perhaps a shooting opportunity where he could have had a shot and did neither and screwed up. I certainly don't rate him. I'm not going to cut him any slack because he's had half a season at Millwall and didn't score there. So there's no excuse why he should be playing this kind of performance for us, unless the truth is he's not that good a player, which looks like it could be the case. I'll be a little bit kinder on Bennett. He did a few nice little touches, showed a little bit more flair than some of the cloggers on the pitch. He had a couple of opportunities as well where he could have done something a little bit better in terms of the decision making or the final product. And we've spoken about the final product before. But yeah, chalk and cheese compared to some of the other dross that I've talked about to you. And yeah, fantastic. We've got a win under our belt. That curse of the top six is broken. We can look forward to Saturday now. And I'll leave it on two little things. Number one, my late uncle used to live in Hull, was a Hull season ticket holder. First time we've beaten them in 12, 13 years. So having a drink next to me that you can't see at the moment is there and toasting that. And then secondly, one of my really, really good mates, Josh Hammond, who has just had a baby son and called it Bobby after, our team. He's more of a diehard than I'll ever be. So a toast to Bobby and to Josh for 3 points in the first game that he would have seen, and I'm sure there'll be thousands to come.